Hey, what's up? I'm going to be reviewing Marriage Boot Camp, Season 7, Episode 9, and the episode is called Lie and Wait. So basically, this show is about a lie detector test that each couple has to take, and there has to be a question that is relevant to their relationship. And if the question is not relevant to their relationship or has progress would help them have progress in their relationship in their counseling session, Judge Toller is going to intervene and put in a question that she wants to be answered, that she knows is relevant to their relationship and their progress as a couple. So we'll begin with the couples of the show. If you guys don't already know, we have Buck and Prima Donna. They are from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and they're dating. And we have Joe and Renee. And Renee is from Mob Wives, and Joe is her boyfriend. They're dating, but I am not sure if it's the same Joe from Mob Wives that snitched on Renee's father and Big Ange family member and put them behind bars. I'm not sure if it's the same Joe or not. And we have Ashley and JP. They're actually married and they are from The Bachelorette. And we have Amy and Dylan. They are from 19 Kids and Counting. Actually, Amy's from 19 Kids and Counting. And we have Gabby and Victor. And Victor is Gabby's baby's father. And Gabby is also from the Bad Girls Club. So basically, the couples gather together in the living room with Judge Toller and the two counselors of the show. And there's some questions that they need to ask one another for the lie detector question, and each couple takes a lie detector test. And it was pretty funny and pretty informational because we learned some new things about these couples that we don't know. I didn't know. I don't know if you knew, but that was really interesting. And so we're gonna go over the questions and whether they pass or fail the exam, and then the aftermath of the exam that they took, the lie detector test, which made the episode interesting. So basically, we're gonna start with Buck and Prima Donna. So Buck question was that he had to when he took the lie detector was, do you want to have a child with Prima Donna without being married? And he replied yes, and there was no deception detected at all. So he passed his test with flying colors. And Prima Donna's question was, do you want to have a child by Buck? She answered yes, of course she does. Buck is a good man. And so there was no detection, no deception detected at all. So both of them passed the test. Kudos. And also, I'd like to say Prima Donna is a cook on the show. She cooks all the meals and all the food. She made peach cobbler pie from scratch. She makes lobster tails. She makes all different types of meals that are just magnificent, that are wonderful. So we know one of the reasons why Buck stays around too, because he has a top chef on his crew in his house. So that's my take. And then we're gonna move forward to, which is Joe. Joe is Renee's boyfriend, and Joe question was, have you had any type of sexual relations with any woman in the past 18 months other than Renee? So this was interesting because Joe was just when he took his test, he was just coughing, he was moving. The guy that was taking the lie detector test was telling him to relax, calm down, could you stop fidgeting? And he would not stop fidgeting, he wouldn't stop moving, he wouldn't stop coughing. And the guy that was giving him the lie detector test was like, you're an asshole, Joe. Joe was like, well, whatever. Joe's like, tell me something that I don't know, basically. So so that was real interesting because Joe was being very deceptive and he didn't want to take the test at all. So so we see how that works out and how that goes. And he was just so then one of the guy so the guy that was taking the test, giving him the test, was asked him, have you lied to law enforcement in the past 8 years or 10 years? And Joe was like, come on, why would you ask me that question? Come on, buddy, I'm not answering that, blah blah blah. And Joe is not having it. He was not having it at all. He did not care, period. And so basically, there was deception detected and he failed the test. So he's probably been cheating on Renee, which is terrible. Anyways, Renee's question was, do you believe Joe is the one for you? Obviously, the answer is no. And she said no, and there was no deception detected. So she passed her test. So that was wonderful. And, but Joe is too much. And Ashley and JP from The Bachelorette, they actually married. And Ashley's question was, would you have married JP if he didn't want to have children? And she said yes. And there was no deception detected. She passed her test. Kudos to her. And also JP, his question was, did you feel pressure into being in a relationship with Ashley because you was in the public eye? And he said no. And he passed his lie detector test. There was no deception detected at all. So cool. And now we go to Amy and Dylan. They're actually married. And Amy's question was, are you afraid to bring a child into this world? Are you afraid to have a family? And she said no. And the lie detector determined that she was being deceptive and she lied. So, but we kind of understand why she doesn't want to have a child or bring a child in this world, because of the sexual allegations and the abuse that was alleged on 19 kids and counting. So there's some deep-seated things going on there, which is kind of sad because it's holding her back from progress. And that's what basically the show is trying to show these couples, that, you know, some of their past is affecting their present and their present relationship. So then we move to Dillard. His question was, do you feel this marriage would last? And he said yes. The lie detector detected that he was showing deception, so that he was lying. And it's kind of crazy because you think that they're a solid couple and, you know, he really loves her and wants to be with her from what he says. And then he honestly truly believes that they're not going to last. And it's probably because they're both two very different people. And she's like a rainbow and he's like Apollo oil in the street. So basically, sometimes the rainbow shines on the oil in the street. I don't know. So that's what I said. So I was like, whoa. But it's really sad to hear that about Amy. And then Joe cheating on Renee. But come on. Like, we didn't know Joe was cheating on Renee. Even though he's not the most attractive guy and he's not the most ugliest guy. But he does have a bad boy type of image. So, and you know, women like bad boys. So I guess the doors are open. And so we go to Gabby and Victor. And Gabby's question was, is there anybody other than Victor that could possibly be your child's biological father? And she said, hell no, hell no. Come to find out, she lied. There's a possibility that somebody else could possibly be her child's baby's father, which is really fucked up, really sad, because that's the biggest deception that you can put out there, because, you know, she's always yelling at Victor and playing that card that, oh, he cheats on me. But not to mention that when you met Victor, he was in a relationship with another woman and you was a side piece and you knew it and you was okay with it. So now that he's probably cheating on you, you're crying. But how you get him is how you lose him. And you felt you wanted to be in a relationship with someone that was cheating on someone else. So you think he was going to suddenly stop cheating because he's with you? And this is not alleged. She says and admits that she was his side piece and she just got pregnant. So on that note, Gabby stopped crying and stop being mad and stop trying to fight Victor and go after him when you was cheating yourself, and then you held back the biggest lie of it all. You put yourself and Victor on the Maury show, basically. Who's the father? So Victor's question was, have you had sex with any other woman while you moved into Gabby's house? Because Victor did move into Gabby's house with her parents' house. So I have no idea how that's working out, because if you watch the show, Gabby and Victor fight, fuss, cuss each other out. Gabby's always hitting him, throwing shit at him, want to fight him. He throws water at her, but he's never been physical towards her. He just tries to stop her from hitting him, you know. But she shows very violent tendencies towards him. But she's from the Bad Girls Club, and also from Battles of the Bad Girls. She was on that show too as well. But people may say that, so he should move out. He shouldn't be there. But one thing about Victor is he didn't grow up with a mother and a father. So he, in previous episode, he said that he would like to be the best father he could be, better than his father was to him. So he, swallowed his pride and moved in with her family and been mistreated by the family, he says. I don't know if he's been mistreated, but I know Gabby's sister is crazy, and she was on the show Wilding, and she only lasts not even a whole day, and she was removed from the show. So, and she hates his guts, and they're all living under the same roof. That sounds crazy. So I'm hoping that the grandparents are involved with the child to make sure he's safe and well-rounded and grow up, without crazy parents fighting, cussing each other out, insulting each other in front of the child. So hopefully the grandparents can be a stabilizer or a balance for the child, because as we see in this episode, Gabby and Victor are not meant to be together. It's awful. I don't even know how can anybody be in a relationship like that. But you know what? For some people it works. But when you have children involved, it's kind of not a good idea, because they grow up thinking that behavior is something that's supposed to happen, and they imitate, So that's the big shocker. So then after Gabby was shown to be lying and being deceptive on her lie detector test, and she also had to take a lie detector 4 times, because the guy that was giving her the lie detector test felt that she was being deceptive. She wasn't answering the questions like she's supposed to be, and she was just off. So I gave it to her 4 times. That's crazy. So in the midst of that, given the results of her lie detector test, she did a Maury. She threw off her microphone and ran upstairs to her room like they do on Maury, and locked the door. And so then the counselor tried to get her out, and she wouldn't open the door. So the counselor called Renee. Like, Renee can solve anybody's problems, but she was actually quite useful in this situation. So Renee's banging on the door. Open the door. You know how Renee is. Open that goddamn door. Open this door, Gabby. Open this motherfucking door. So that's Renee. And Prima Donna was behind her or whatever. So then Gabby opens the door, let them in. Instantly her microphone's back on. So on that note, Gabby was like, I didn't lie. I know who's been up in my vagina. I know what goes up in here. And so then Renee was like, well, Renee was in a calm voice, sitting down on the bed. I was like, was you involved with somebody like a month before you was involved with Victor? And she goes, yeah, I was. And so she goes, well, since you was, that's why your lie detector came out that you was being deceptive. And she goes, I told the guy when I was taking the test that I had sex with somebody a month before I had sex with Victor. So then Renee goes in the confessionals, and she goes, she don't even know who her father is. If you have sex with one month and then one the next month, it could be anybody's child. So Renee was quite useful, actually getting Gabby to admit to her wrong, because we know Gabby does not like to admit when she's wrong or she does something wrong, especially when it comes to Victor. She likes to play innocent victim and wounded animal. So Renee actually got her to actually own up to her behavior, and she admitted that she had sex with someone a month before she had sex with Victor, which is which is nor here or there or bad, but it's the possibility that someone else could be the child's father, and you did not let Victor know that information or take a DNA test on Maury. You know, you like TV, you should have went on Maury. Well, you know what? Now you can go on Maury, Gabby. Your next reality TV show would be the Maury Show. So, so with that, Victor comes upstairs and she's yelling and cussing at Victor like, "Get the fuck out of here! Fuck you! You're not sleeping up here!" Blah blah blah. But he didn't do anything to her, and she didn't know the results of his lie detector test because she walked off. So why is she mad at him because she was caught in a lie? Very immature. That's not somebody that should be mothering a child, you know? Because how can she teach right from wrong? So on that note, they start arguing and she's trying to hit him and fight him because she's vicious on this show. She's always trying to beat up Victor. And so he throws water in her face. You know, Renee and Prima Donna break up the fight. And JP and Buck are in a hallway watching. And JP's like this, "Keep that negative energy away from me." And JP was drinking a Bud Light or Budweiser, but whatever. He was drinking a beer, and he was like, "I'm gonna need something stronger than this." I know you do, to live in a house with Gabby and Victor and Renee and Joe. Oh no, what a shit show it is. When I say a shit show, it's a shit show. I don't know how they get on TV and do this shit, but I'm glad they do because it's entertaining to me and it's something to watch on the weekends. Maybe I should do something else. But no. So, on that note, the counselors tell everyone that they get to go out to the club tonight. They're going to put all their wedding rings, or, well, there's only two couples that are married, on their promise rings inside of this box. And they get to go out and be single and have a hall pass or a free night out being single. So Victor and the guys go out. All the guys are feeling really sorry for Victor because it's so embarrassing that this female has been in the house whining, cussing him out, fighting with him, crying, saying all this stuff to him and throwing shit at him, and that her sister was on the show fucking with him too, and she's always calling him terrible dad, terrible this, saying he don't have nothing, he don't have shit, blah blah blah. But what does that make you? You laid down with him. You was even his side piece. So, anyways, um, so all the guys felt they felt bad. They felt bad for him before because Gabby's totally out of control. And so the guys are like, "We'll be your wingman tonight," especially Buck. He's trying to, help him out. And I also got to say, Victor showed a lot of progress because usually in the previous episode, Victor would be fighting, he would be throwing stuff, but not fighting with anybody, but just throwing stuff. So, um, it's crazy. So then the episode kind of like just ends with them, with Victor and Gabby going at it, fighting. I mean, just fighting. And she's beating up Victor, and the other people are trying to stop her. I'm trying to stop her. And Joe almost gets into a fight with Victor. And it goes crazy. And then Renee does her shit show. She goes crazy. She starts wiling out. And then Joe beats up security. Like, none of these guys could control Joe. And Renee's up there in the balcony laughing. Not laughing, but like happy because she wanted to make sure that Gabby did not show her up tonight. And Joe called Renee a fucking bitch, a whore, a dirty scumbag. He says she's fake, she's phony, and she's on this show acting up, crying. She's a psycho. It's just horrible, but it was a wonderful show. Till next time.